Yo, Wagwan. So there is a problem that a lot of guys have, and that is playing it too safe, especially when you're going on dates. Now, this is gonna be a intro into the first series of videos that I'm going to call Reddit Replies. So this is where I find different posts on Reddit and I comment and I reply on what this person is having an issue with, whether it's an answer, whether I'm breaking down whatever they're doing, and I'm just gonna give you my overall take and perspective on this Reddit post. So, this first post is, why am I a catch to everyone except the women I go on dates with? Simple question. All right, so let's get right into it. I generally don't know what I'm doing wrong or what women are looking for on an in person date. First problem, but I got you. I get that my friends are likely just being nice to me and telling me I'm a catch to make me feel better, but I just don't get what I'm doing wrong. I may not be the biggest catch in the world, but I don't think I'm completely undateable. First of all, that whole thing right there, lack of confidence. Lack of confidence, right? There's no reason for you to just not f- feel confident in yourself. Like honestly, I have hobbies that I think make me a well-rounded person: cooking, working out, mixology, stand-up, comedy, Brazilian, I don't know what I'm saying. Brazilian jiu-jitsu, MMA, riding motorcycles, podcasting, enjoying discussing pod. So this guy has a lot of things going for himself. A lot of hobbies, a lot of areas that he's developed, and a lot of things he's probably good at. So I'm assuming this guy's already a well-developed guy. Probably looks pretty decent, and probably takes care of himself really well. Admittedly, I'm usually pretty shy at first, but once I'm comfortable with someone, I'm much more talkative and funny and enjoy in depth conversations. So far, every time I've been on a date with someone that I met on a dating apps, it goes almost exactly the same way. We will text back and forth for a little while on the app and eventually set up a date. At the end of the date that has just gone. Wait, what? What am I reading? At the end of the date that has always gone well, I'll offer to walk her back to her car. We hug, then we go our separate ways. We keep talking and then set up a second date and maybe a third before they say that I'm. All right. We keep talking and then set up a second date and maybe a third date before they say I'm a great guy, but they didn't feel a spark, and that's it. Now, I can already tell what the problem is. This has happened 6 times already, almost the exact same way every time. I've since deleted all dating apps and I've pretty much given up on dating altogether. All right, so in this situation, let's break it down piece by piece. This guy right here, basically, well-rounded guy, a lot of hobbies, a lot of things going for himself. Obviously, we can tell he's not the most confident guy in the world, but he has some minimum level of social skills. He's able to talk, he's able to get the girls on dates, and he's able to, have a good time. Now, here's the problem. And this is why I said, like, a lot of guys are playing it too safe on these dates. When you're on these dates with women, especially from Tinder, you gotta already assume attraction. So when you're going on this date, you already know that she's interested in you in a lot of different ways, in a lot of degrees already. So there's not much for you to really try to overdo and try to play it too safe to try to build up the attraction. You already know the attraction's there. But here's the problem. He said, at the end of the date that has always gone well, I'll offer to walk her back to her car. We hug, and then we go our separate ways. Now, sometimes that's not a problem, but here's the thing. He said, we keep talking, then we set up a second date and maybe a third, and eventually they'll say they feel no spark. Now, here's the problem where this guy is messing up. He's not going in for the kill. He's not going in for the close. He's not taking action and moving things forward past the dates. So he's taking these girls on dates. He's maybe fun, he may be cool, he may be this, he may be that. But at the end of the day, he's not progressing it further, more physically, more intimate, and taking it to that next step. And so he's not really showing these girls the wild, crazy sexual side that they may be looking for as well. He comes off as the nice guy. So when you're coming off as the nice guy, right? You take her on dates and you make her laugh, all the good stuff. There's no spark. There's no tension there. You hug her. You let her go back to her car. She goes home. She's like, oh, what a nice guy. You do that 2-3 times on a date. She's like, okay, all right, cool. There's really nothing here. There's nothing here for me. And so the resolution to this is what this guy should do. When he sees the opportunity to move forward and go for a kiss, invite her back to the house, invite her back to some other location to where they can hang out one-on-one private, something to take this next step from point A to point B. And so you always want to be thinking, how can you escalate and move forward in the interaction? Build up tension, build up that sexual tension. The reason she's saying there's no spark comes from tension. Spark comes from tension. To friction. There's friction. When you rub two rocks together, and if you're into nature and you're trying to spark a fire, you rub two rocks together because you're trying to create that spark, and that you need that tension, that friction. You need some type of next step to move towards. If it's just too nice, too smooth, you hug her at the end of the day. Oh, thank you for coming. Maybe I'll see you again. Blah, 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 blah. There's no tension there. She's like, oh, he's such a nice guy. Personally, honestly, I hate when girls, the least favorite thing I like when a girl tells me is like, oh, you're such a nice guy. I don't aim to be nice. I don't aim to be pleasant. I aim to move forward and get the results I'm looking for. Now, that may come in different forms, and it may depend on what she's also looking for, but at the same time, you always have to be progressing. So what this guy's done 6 times in a row is play it too safe. You don't want to play it too safe. All right? So here's 3 things. Here's 3 things you can do to really move forward. 1, playfully tease her. Tease her a little bit. Make the conversation a little bit more sexual. Make the conversation a little bit more intimate and more erotic. So you want to learn how to use your language and be comfortable with that tension, and be comfortable with letting her take the next step towards you and chase you a little bit, letting her seek your validation, right? You want to be able to make that a nice frame within your interaction. Then step 2 is you want to initiate the next move. All right, cool. What's the next move? Do you want to, hang out at come back to my place? Figure out some way to invite her back to your place. Maybe you set up another date that's not outside. Maybe you, on the second or third day, you'd be like, hey, come over for drinks. Come hang out and watch a movie. Come do this and do that, right? You want to make it a closed off, more intimate environment where you two are able to get one-on-one in your own personal bubble. And then step 3 is you want to obviously continue the frame, get that location secured, but you also want to make the move. Go for the kiss. Go to escalate. Physical touch. All those things are important when it comes to building at that spark. Building that interaction and building that tension. Making her feel excited. Making her feel, all warm and tingly. You want to be able to put that frame and move the progression along. So, if you're a nice guy, those are some things you can really keep in mind, because this guy, he has basically like all the things already set up. He's able to get him all the way on dates, multiple dates from Tinder, and he's done this 6 times. And if you're doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same undesirable results, there's something faulty in your formula. So you have to look at the formula, and basically I just gave you the final piece to that formula. So for all the guys who have this same issue, remember, try not to play it too safe and go for the move. All right? Peace.